Hello and welcome to the most accurate tier list you're ever going to see in your life. Okay, I have not played too much of the new patch, but before things, settle in and whatnot, I'm going to make a tier list prediction on how all of these are going to go, including the new wild synergy, which is interesting to say the least, and is also the one I'm going to start off with. I don't think it's tier 0, but it's definitely fucking meta. Like, from what I've seen, it doesn't take that much skill. You just sort of play it, and same as like fire, or same as, okay, not so much normal. Normal requires a little bit more positioning and sort of thought behind it. Meta, to me, means that you can just sort of play it, and it'll work. Tier 0 is like, it's just unbeatable. It's like old artificial meta, or back when the Garchomp meta was a thing, that was just something, or all the way back when normal was just tier 0. I don't think there are any tier 0. The only one maybe is dark if you play it properly. Only because of baby. I don't think either of them are, just because you need both of them. Because again, this is a synergy tier list, and so neither of them can be tier 0 because you need one or the other to actually function. It can't just be like it's on its own. Which is why also light. Light is still kind of good. I haven't seen it too much, but when I have seen it, it still performs, so it's probably fine. It's probably still meta. It just probably isn't as good as some of the time. The order, by the way, matters within the tiers itself. So let's just get all the meta ones out of the way. So Dark's up there. Monster as well. I think it was Crabhammer talking about Kyogre. And he's completely right. Monster is kind of being carried by Kyogre, but also Rock. Now, Rock is bad. Rock's pretty bad. But because of the presence of Dark, and because of how many Rock Pokemon also have Monster, it's not too bad. Because there is like a Reggie Rock build that I saw Crab play, that I tried, and it kind of works. It just doesn't really have, it doesn't have like top 1 potential, but like you can like, if the whole match is running Dark teams, this comp isn't actually too bad. So it's more of a tech pick. I don't think Rock, because people just say that Rock's bad. They just say Rock's terrible. I don't think so. I think it's just a very niche tech pick for Dark, and is kind of just, if you run Monster, you're gonna kind of run Rock anyway. And it's the same thing as Human. Human's just kind of bad though, unfortunately, because the only time you ever run Human is either if you're running Fire or if you're running Normal. Normal even less so. Fire, kind of. It's just kind of bad though. It doesn't really do much anymore because this meta is so one-shot heavy. Yeah, this struggles quite a lot. What else? Let me finish the meta. So, Baby is definitely up there for obvious reasons. Dragon is also there. It's probably a little bit weaker this patch, but it's still very, very good. And I think I'm actually going to put Normal. Reason being is you just have access to so many new normal Pokemon, especially with Wild. Again, you can build against it if you're top 3 and one of the other comps has Normal. There are so many ways you can fit Flinch into it. I mean, again, if you're running Monster, you just kind of auto-win against Normal. Dark, not so much. Trying to think if there are any Dark Pokemon that flinch and that you actually want to play. I don't think so, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. You just do enough damage to get through all the shields. Late game Normal is pretty good. I haven't seen yet how well it is with Wild, because I've seen there's a lot of Wild Normal Pokemon. but I still think that normal's going to be pretty meta. Unfortunately, poison is just kind of bad. I love playing poison, by the way. Let me preface this. I love to play poison. The problem is that poison's great in a meta where it's not so one-shotty. Because of how prevalent Dark is at the moment, and kind of Dragon as well, late game with stuff like Rayquaza, poison just kind of struggles. It doesn't have enough time to utilize the damage, the damage over time, and its units are fine. Sometimes, I mean, we have some new bug types for poison. We have a couple monster types. It's what I used for my Generation 1 video, but I think in a different state of the meta, I think poison would be great. Right now, not really. I think steel, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think they added any more steel types, but steel is still pretty good. But I think it's a tech pick. I think going 8 steel is, you're basically gambling. Do you know what I mean? Because cool, you have a lot of offense. I mean, you're doing 100% true damage, and you're doubling your attack. It's great, but again, the problem is this whole meta kind of revolves around Dark. Because of how popular Dark is, you have to run a team that's not going to get insta one-shot by Dark. Or itemize against it. Again, you have Shiny Charm, you have ways around it. But for the most part, you kind of have to go through the Dark check. Does it just lose to Dark? And if it does, it's just kind of a long day for you. Steel, that kind of happens, but it's a tech pick because it's the same as Rock, where if you're running Monster, and if you're running Ground, you're going to kind of like inevitably go into Steel. So I think that, 2 to 4 Steel is probably obviously the safer route when you have other synergies like Rock and Ground going on. But if you're going to go 8 Steel, it's just kind of, I'm going to make a, I'm going to make a new, one. Gamble. Steel is gamble. It's kind of the same with Dragon a little bit, because you need to get to late game for Dragon to actually do anything, and if you just if you lose by that point, it's just a long day for you. Right, hang on, let's put this back down there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. It's the same thing with Fossil, obviously. They're all additional picks, same sort of thing. It's like fine, kind of, and again with Dragon, I mean, Dracovic, Eternatus, it's fine, but again, kind of a gamble. Field. Oh, Field. Oh, I actually just don't even know about Field. Okay, we're gonna come back to Field. I don't know. Ground feels like it's great, and then it's not. It's just kind of bad, but okay. If you live in Disneyland, okay, Ground is like tier 0, okay? I don't live in Disneyland. Ground is fine when it starts actually doing something, but if you don't hyper roll and you don't get amazing rolls into it, you just kind of lose. I don't know. No, Ground's just kind of bad. I might be wrong on this one, by the way. And again, I'm gonna re-preface this right now in the video. I am terrible at this game. Have you not seen my YouTube channel? Yeah, if you want to have really good advice, actual really good advice, go to this guy's channel. This guy is very, very good at the game. Either that, or just go onto the Discord. Crab, Obscuros, all of these guys, the top players, they will give you actually really good, pretty objective advice. This is just kind of funny. No, actually, no. Grass is a tech pick. No, it's just kind of bad. Because again, it doesn't do the dark. Yeah. Grass can be, in certain matters, very disgusting. There was a time where grass was just tier 0, because nothing could get through the regen. This was back when grass regened every tick rather than every 2. So yeah, I think every 2 seconds now instead of 1 second. So it's even harder to get the regen off, and again, you just get one shot to dark. A long day for you. GG. Fly-in's a gamble. Again, sort of the same thing. It's just... if you hyper roll, it's fine. If you try to go late game with it, it sort of works. If you try to go bug with like B-drill and whatnot, that's just kind of bad at this point. Yeah, there's just not a lot of stuff anymore to utilize with flying where you're not, because you do have the protection on dark, from dark, with the synergy itself. But the problem is you don't really do enough damage to ever get through this, to ever get through these teams. Because the offense on flying most of the time is pretty bad. I mean, what, you have like Ho-Oh, Moltres, like, this is talking sort of later T20, past T20. Like, kind of Rayquaza. But again, like, getting all of this off is just really feels bad. You're playing against monster, one of your flying types starts to die, you lose momentum, that's wraps. Same with dark, same with, I think probably same with wild. Light teams, good luck. You're not paralyzed in anything. They just, their carry just has immunity to everything. Yeah, flying, unfortunately. It used to be really good. I think it can still do okay. Field. I'm doing field last. Electric's fine. Electric's more of a tech pick. Again, it's like you flex it into artificial. You can run just an electric team. You run Zapdos, I guess. Maybe the new T10 Morpeko. I've seen it do like okay, but again, you really don't want to go vertical with electric. You want to just flex it into other synergies like artificial, because it just doesn't do enough on its own. And again, you just insta die to dark. Aquatic? Okay. Aquatic's just kind of bad, right? Right? Yeah, Aquatic's just sort of, it's not bad as a synergy. It's, at the moment, I mean, Ludicolo got, like, killed off, so he's done. He's still kind of playable, but not really. The problem is, it's just, again, meta dependent. It's just this is the same problem. I'll put it like next to poison. It's the same sort of thing. These would be very great in a different kind of like meta sphere, but because what's really good. No, baby's still there. I'm gonna do this actually as well, I think. Actually, maybe even this. Yeah, no, it's this way. Is dark just tier 0? Because everything I'm trying to match up against, I'm always matching it up against dark. Dark doesn't insta win though. Just running dark doesn't mean you just win. Because one, playing dark is a little bit more difficult, and two, there are comps that will just beat dark. No, it stays there. Yeah, I'm gonna actually remove this. Because there is no tier 0. Boom. Okay. But yeah, Aquatic is unfortunately... Actually, no, not unfortunately. I hated the Aquatic meta. I'll be honest, Ludicolo was fucking stupid. Anyway. Right, Ghost, you're up here. Ghost is great. Ghost is a tech pick. Ghost is meta. No, Ghost is a tech pick. No, Ghost is meta. Because you can go vertical on Ghost, and you go 8 Ghost. Sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't. Again, I mean, if they are running... If you have, like, Hisuian Typhlosion somehow top 1 in, going 8 Ghost might actually be pretty good. Does it go through? It must do. It must go through. Does it go through Rune Protect? It must do. Okay. Comment down below. Does Ghost proc go through Rune Protect? I'm pretty sure it does. Because if it doesn't, it goes down here. Or it goes... no, it goes here. No, I think either way, it goes up there. Reason being as well, because it just synergizes with Dark so well. You can kind of just run it. But then it just becomes a tech pick, right? That's difficult. I think I'm gonna leave it here at the bottom of meta. Because you can still go vertical Ghost. And it's pretty potent, depending on the match. So I'm going to leave it at the bottom of meta. Fighting is just kind of bad. Or is it? Or is it? I mean, what do you go? You're going like... Grass fighting is bad now. Fire fighting is also just kind of bad. I mean, last patch I saw people still top 1 with fighting grass. Actually, I also just saw people top 1 with Marshadow. Just anything and then Marshadow. Yeah, fighting's kind of a gamble. Because I can see it, like, you can see it working. It's just getting it to work. Takes a lot of patience because fighting wins by getting a bunch of tier 5 units. Yeah, you get a bunch of tier 5 units. You get them up to 3 stars. You chill. You win. So it's getting to that point. So it's just kind of a gamble as well. Dragon's at the top of this, by the way, and then so's Fossil, I think. Yeah. Right, fire... no, fire's still good. And you have the Ho-Oh build. You have the Hisuian Typhlosion build, which is still good. Yeah, it's at the bottom of meta, I think. Like, assuming you're not going against, like, top tier teams. Because, again, like, someone could be playing Poison or Grass or whatever, and someone could be playing Dark, but if the pilots of these teams down here are, like, way better and the position is better, they will beat, like, every one of these meta teams. Fire... no, Fire is still meta. I think, just kind of. It's basically just the Hisuian Typhlosion build. There might be something else, I don't know. But from what I've seen, it's just that. Do I need to say any more? Let's just move on. Oh, Ice is so sad. Because Ice should be here. I wish it was here. Ice is my favorite type, but it's here. It's... The problem with Ice is... One, we're not in a high ability power meta, so it can't utilize the special defense so much. It got nerfed because of artificial, and its units are annoying to play with. The freeze is great when it goes off. Problem is it loses the dark check, and so it's just... I'm actually kind of tempted to do this. No. It's still just... It's kind of bad. You can still do something with it. Psychic is... like dead in the water. I actually just... I think I might do this. Honestly. Unfortunately. I just don't see Psychic doing anything anymore. Honestly, the only build I think is remotely viable anymore is you take someone by surprise, right? Yeah, you take someone by surprise by running Wobbuffet. That's all I could think of. Right? Yeah. It's really unfortunate for Psychic, because I like Psychic a lot. I like the unknown game as well. It's just... right now, it's just bad. Even in Dragon. I don't see a lot of Dragon Psychic anymore. Sound is gamble. Sound is like the epitome of gamble. You are actually a casino player if you play sound in this meta. I mean, it just loses to Dark, unfortunately. It just loses to Dark. But if you get Trimeco and you get the Exodia build, then you can fucking pop off. But again, I don't live in Disneyland, so you just don't. It just that is slot gambling. Water. Oh, okay. Water has the new Milotic, so you have Gyarados and Milotic. Go in 9 water. 9 water with Milotic, Gyarados. Is that even good? Milotic attracts things, disrupts. You have the dodge chance. Most dark teams, not all, most dark teams don't run X-Ray. It might. It's a gamble. It's a gamble because you need to get to Water 9 at this point. You can't rely on Aquatic. You have to rely on just good units surviving through the heavy damage of Dark and then killing something and then slowly killing stuff. The problem is you go against Monster, you go against Wild, you go against Field, and one thing, if anything dies, you just start losing, because obviously abilities don't include dodge chance. Monster, you go against Kyogre, suddenly you get to T20, your water team's getting fucking one shot. It gets fucking popped, and then suddenly the Kyogre just wins. Sure, you might have your own Kyogre, but you're not going to be running that much Monster, so that their Kyogre is just going to be better. It's a gamble, unfortunately. It's so sad. So, Fairy, which is meant to be the counter to Dark, is just kind of bad. It's at the top of kind of bad. Don't get me wrong. Or is it gamble? Because you still lose to Dark, unfortunately. Somehow. You just die before your damage can get... Yeah. But it is a gamble. And I'll tell you why. Because this is a gamble for the same reason this is a gamble. If you get to a really good board state with Fairy, Xerneas full items, or Gardevoir one-shot build... Oh, does that make it? No, it's still just there. It's still bad. I hate putting this here. It's just... And I might do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. It's sad to see. Yeah, Fairy... The problem is, Fairy will always be like this. Because we saw what happened when Fairy was meta. When it was tier 0. And it was just unfun to play against. Because it was worse Dark. Like, in terms of, like, feels bad, it was just Dark, but there's no counterplay because you're charmed. And then you just insta-blow up. Yeah, I think it stays here. I think it might actually... No, it stays here. Bug is kind of bad. Right? It's just kind of bad. It's, like, boringly kind of bad as well. It's just, like... The units are fine-ish. T20 is just not good anymore. Genesect is just whatever now. Pheromosa? Where the fuck are the other bug? The bug fighting lady? Is again whatever. Same thing with Heracross. Like, you go Heracross, Pheromosa. It's okay. But it's still just kind of bad. Artificial is a tech pick now. Flexing 2 Artificial in quite a few of these comps is sometimes really good because of the items that you get. If you get a really good Artificial item, I don't see a lot of people running full Artificial anymore. I see it sometimes with Steel, obviously. But it's just a tech pick. Because you're just doing it for the item at this point. You're not really doing it to win with Artificial. You're just trying to get an extra item. And finally, your Field. Oh, fucking Field. Because Field... So, the issue is... is that Field and Wild are now like they hate each other because you want Field wants to be Wild, Wild wants to be Field. They both want the same Pokemon, and so some of the Field Pokemon got moved to Wild, and then some of them just lost Field anyway. Field's been getting fucked about quite a bit. I think Field's a gamble. I think Field could still, like, you could still run Field, but like at this point, and this is where I would want someone to try and maybe correct me, why would you run Field at this point when you can just run Wild? It's just more consistent Field, right? I'm trying to think about it any other way. Wild is just better Field. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put this to just kind of bad because Wild is just better Field, in my opinion. Unless I don't know what else it could be. All right, do this. Ground at the top of just kind of bad. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with this. This is my tier list. I think this is really healthy. And the reason why is because everything Bardark loses to like a lot of these teams very consistently. The problem is just if the lobby is running dark, you just have to be able to deal with that first. So you just need to have some way, either a shiny charm user at the back, tank damage, get through, etc, etc, etc. Just any sort of way of dealing with with a dark team. Then you don't really have to worry too much about it. You can sort of just play the game and just beat the dark team anyway through sheer force, rather than having to come up with some like unique way of dealing with it, which is good because this means it has counterplay. So this meta is really good. This is what I'm trying to say, is because there are so many ways to counter, and there are counterplay towards dark, where, for example, Fairy, that just wasn't the case. You just lose. So I'm very happy with this meta. Because everything's kind of playable. Mostly. But there you go. There's my amazing, very accurate tier list. If you want to berate me in the comments, please do. So I don't misguide any more Rattatas into playing stupid comps. Right. In a bit.